poetry, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a poem written by a gentleman by the name of Chuck Larson. Some of you may have known him as a cowboy poet. Goes to a lot of the gatherings. And he wrote this poem about an event that takes place sometimes at the end of the rodeo, where they sometimes will take a little monkey and they'll dress him up like a cowboy. It's not too big of a transition, folks. And they take this little collie dog and they put him onto the dog and they turn him out in the arena, and there's a bunch of sheep out there and he's doing his thing. And this story goes like this. It says, "Heaven's out for me and the boys. We're to blame, it's an awful fact, for what we did during the rodeo, during the Mutt Ride Monkey Act." You see, they take this little monkey and they dress him up in cowboy gear and they saddle up this collie dog and on goes the munketeer. Then they turn out a bunch of sheep, and when that collie goes to cutting, that monkey hangs and scratches while the mutt is gathering mutton. Now, me and the boys cooked up an idea, one simmered under cowboy hats. At the start of this monkey business, we dumped in a sack of cats. Now this trick, it might have been dirty, and this trick, it might have been cheap, but when old Shep saw all them cats, she forgot all about them sheep. That monkey, he's just a hung out blur. Old Rover's covering ground. Them cats is leaving the country and they weren't monkeying around. When something goes and happens which puts the boys and me in our place, why that monkey, he goes and monkeys up, and by God, he's back in the race. He builds himself a tail loop over and under his Rover with his hat. He makes a toss, he jerks a slack. The announcer yells, "5 cat flat." Then he catches 2 old tomcats out in front of the bucking chutes. Team pens them both, cat tied in a pair of boots. Old cat number 4 is heading for the hills, bent on making her escape. And that monkaroo, he lays the trip, and the crowd is going ape. And now this 5th and final feline was a wild and cagey critter, born and bred on a ranch, scratching boulders for kitty litter. A one-eyed spitting chunk of hair and claw and hiss, who'd whoop lots of dogs. Catastrophe, his catalyst. That pooch puncher, he's a-coming on, thunder rolling from Rover's paws. The crowd draws silent at the scene. The cat waits like death's own jaws. When from the crowd a savior appears, an activist for animal rights, committed to ending animal exploitations, such as rodeos, dog and kitty fights. She came charging in with best intentions, all that her noble cause embraces, when the cat went running up her dress, a-hunting higher places. Around the arena, this protester buck with looks befuddled and beguiled. That monkaroo, he just rode on in. I could swear to God she smiled. Under the dress, a storm was raging. Shredded pantyhose drifted down. With protest signs, she beat the lumps as they raced inside the gown. Animal bites replaced animal rights. Noble causes lost their purpose, while her innermost beings were scratching near the surface. Rodeo contestants trying to save the day with brave and gallant rushes were sucked into the whirlpool like a commode when she flushes. Rodeo clowns finally saved the day, though they hate to go and brag, seeing how it was they who'd let the cat out of the bag. The protester, she left the scene dressed in protesting days and dissent. Instead of ending the sport of rodeo, she'd gone and created a new event. The little monkey, he never recovered. For a while, he hung out with rodeo stars, but today he's just a broken down monkaroo, telling this tale in the monkey bars. Thank you.